Ontario Power Generation is the largest producer of electricity in Ontario. We supply approximately 70% of the electricity used in the province, in our homes, our schools, and our businesses. Being owned by the province and people of Ontario means that everyone has a stake in OPG.
We take our commitment to our shareholders, the people of Ontario, to heart. Our number one priority is safety. Safety for the public, for our employees, for our generating assets, and for the environment. While we recognize the importance of the electricity we produce for the province, we also recognize the need to produce that power in a sustainable way, minimizing our operational footprint and coexisting with nature. We also extend that commitment to the environment to our plans for new development, as you'll hear in this video. Environmental sensitivity is essential to how we do business, and it's not just business. Ontario Power Generation is made up of over 12,000 Ontarians who want to ensure that we are good stewards of the air, lands, and water on which we operate.
OPG has a balanced portfolio consisting of nuclear, fossil, and hydroelectric generating stations located across Ontario. Hydroelectric power has been an important asset from the start. For over a century, Ontario Power Generation and its predecessors have harnessed the power of water to fuel the growth of the province. Today, the company is focused on maintaining and improving these treasured assets, as well as building upon our heritage with new plants to help meet the province's future demands for clean, renewable power. Ontario Power Generation operates more than 60 hydroelectric stations and over 200 generating units on 26 different river systems. We also operate over 230 dams to control the flow of water to those stations. OPG operates its hydro facilities in a way that meets the requirements set out by regulatory agencies such as the Ministry of Natural Resources and the Trent Severn Waterway. We balance the need for electricity with the commercial and recreational needs of all the users in the watershed, as well as preserving the environment of the watershed itself.
We take great care to minimize our environmental footprint. Hydroelectric generation is an important source of sustainable power. It's clean, it's renewable, and it provides about a quarter of the electricity consumed in Ontario. We recognize that our hydropower stations have an environmental impact, and we work hard to ensure that our effects are minimized as much as possible. We work with all levels of government and key stakeholders to balance their needs, while managing water flow and aquatic habitats for the communities and ecosystems upstream and downstream from our facilities. And we are equally sensitive to the environment in the new projects that we are developing and planning.
Across the province, Ontario Power Generation has a number of new hydro initiatives. From complete design-build operations like the Niagara Tunnel project, to renewing and improving existing units, and planning new facilities.
These projects are very complex. They can take years to bring online. They require strict environmental assessments and complicated negotiations with stakeholders before addressing the engineering challenges involved during construction.
The Niagara Tunnel is one of Ontario Power Generation's largest hydroelectric projects. The largest hard rock tunnel boring machine in the world, Big Becky, is carving an underground channel the height of a 4-story building through solid rock right under the city of Niagara Falls. While progress has been slower than planned due to challenging mining conditions, Ontario Power Generation is confident of a positive outcome. When complete, the tunnel will deliver an additional 500 cubic meters of water every second to the Beck generating stations to enhance utilization and power output. That volume of water would fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool in just 5 seconds.
The Niagara Tunnel will provide enough water to generate an additional 1.6 billion kilowatt hours of electricity each year. That's enough to supply 160,000 Ontario homes with clean, renewable hydroelectric power for at least 100 years.
Ontario Power Generation's newest station, Black Sewell, came online in northwestern Ontario in February 2009. It can generate 12.5 megawatts, enough to meet the annual needs of about 12,500 homes. This is our first station in partnership with a First Nation. All future profits and risks will be shared with the Lac Sewell First Nation, who own a 25% stake.
The signing of this partnership agreement, the first of its kind in Ontario, represents a new era in the relationships between our people and the hydroelectric industry.
People of the past have sometimes said they thought they were making history. I believe today, together, we're making history.
OPG is committed to building long-term, mutually beneficial working relationships with Aboriginal communities located in close proximity to OPG's facilities. These kinds of agreements are vital to expanding Ontario's supply of clean, renewable hydroelectric power. To maximize available hydroelectric resources, Ontario Power Generation is making considerable investment in their existing stations.
We have a century of experience and technical know-how, along with some of the top hydroelectric people in the world. It simply makes sense for us to continue investment in these assets. It allows us to make sure that with the water Mother Nature gives us, we can make the maximum, most efficient use of our plants.
One of the best examples of modernization has taken place at one of the province's oldest generating stations, Sir Adam Beck 1's Generator Unit 7, or G7. After supplying electricity for more than 80 years, G7 was completely removed and replaced.
G7 now uses water more efficiently, is more environmentally friendly, and will add about 60 megawatts to Ontario's electricity supply.
Even though 75% of the company's hydroelectric capacity is over 50 years old, Ontario Power Generation has a great track record of renewing and upgrading its older assets. For instance, today's modern runner design technology reduces costly maintenance and offers the added benefit of producing more power from the existing plants. Since 1992, the Runner Upgrade Program has added over 425 megawatts of hydroelectric capacity. By 2012, the Turbine Upgrade Program will have added enough clean, renewable hydroelectric power to avoid releasing over 900,000 tons of global warming carbon dioxide every year. That's the equivalent of taking 150,000 cars off the road. Across the province, Ontario Power Generation is investing in expanding and upgrading existing assets. At Healy Falls Generating Station on the Trent Severn Waterway, construction has begun on a new fourth unit that will add 6.4 megawatts, or enough electricity, to meet the yearly demand of about 6,400 homes. In northeastern Ontario, construction is also underway to replace 4 existing stations with new, larger ones. 3 of the stations are on the upper Matagami River, Wawayton, Sandy Falls, and Lower Sturgeon. And the 4th, Hound Chute, is located on the Montreal River. When completed in 2011, the total installed capacity of the 4 stations will increase from 23 megawatts to 44 megawatts. Further north, OPG is looking to increase capacity along the lower Matagami River as well. That 450-megawatt development plan includes replacing the 75-year-old Smoky Falls Generating Station with a new, larger one, and adding a new unit to each of the other 3 stations: Little Long, Harmon, and Kipling. And further into the future, on the Little Jackfish River, Ontario Power Generation has begun an environmental assessment for a proposed development which will result in an additional 100 megawatts of new, clean, renewable hydroelectricity to the Ontario grid. Over the next few years, OPG will be working cooperatively with 6 First Nations around Lake Nipigon to assess the viability of the project and investigate the possibility of a commercial partnership. All of our hydroelectric generation stations have made a tremendous impact on Ontario. They have powered our homes and businesses and helped to make Ontario the country's leading manufacturer and economic center. For more than 100 years, hydro plants have been operated and maintained by dedicated professionals, doing a superb job at making sure the province has the clean, renewable electricity it needs.
The hydroelectric stations that we are maintaining and building are something this province can truly be proud of. And on behalf of OPG, I am proud of our part in creating a strong and sustainable economic future for the province. What's good for the environment and good for the economy is good for a strong Ontario in the 21st century. Today, Ontario Power Generation is working and planning so that our plants will continue to provide power for the next 100 years and more to benefit our children, our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren, a shining legacy and a bright future.